Back from our 5-minute break, and we have a motion on the floor from Michelle Lewis. So would you mind repeating it for us?
Sure, I would move that we are going to adopt resolution number 1244, authorizing the city manager to execute the memorandum of understanding with California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD.
We have a motion,
Second.
seconded by Scafani. And this is roll call, or this is?
Roll call.
Great. All right. We have a motion and a second by Scafani.
Councilmember Napier?
Aye.
Councilmember Lewis Lusso?
Aye.
Councilmember Sawatsky?
Aye.
Councilmember Scafani?
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving on to our next item, which I have lost my sheets. Oh, it's outside. There we are. Council correspondence. We don't normally read these.
I'm sorry, I'm still getting caught up.
Yeah.
Say that again now?
Oh, I said, moving on to council correspondence.
Okay, yes.
Those were just the letters that were
There
submitted.
are a couple of pieces of correspondence, which were both on your desk as well as on the table. There is a piece of correspondence from Kent Sawatsky, which was an email that was received and requested that be circulated. Another piece of correspondence was there's a workshop tomorrow with HCOG pertaining to just a community workshop on some, how's the word I want to use, more developing of traffic calming kinds of approaches for community development purposes. Dan Burton will be here at HCOG. It's going to be a 5:30 presentation at the Warfinger Building tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. until 8:30. So this was circulated around earlier this month. I know that they've been doing a lot of outreach. I spoke with Lynn Glenn yesterday, and I thought this might be something that they'd be interested in, as well as the Safety Commission. So we got that information to them, as well as just providing a reminder for you guys. And that was all the correspondence that I have for you at this time.
Great, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 10, reports of council and staff. Do we have any ad hoc committee reports?
Too many.
Brain freeze.
Well, I'll start with Terry and I are on budget, so I think the intention was that we would get together this weekend and bring something forward, but did you have anything that you wanted to add on this?
Are you guys still working with Jill, or is Jill gonna bring?
Well, to be clear, we met last Tuesday on the budget, and then we had Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So Emily and I have had like a brief little, kind of conversation, but we need to be able to find the time to sit down and do that deeper dive in order to break out the different objectives. We have flagged a couple of things operationally that we're going to propose. So we're going to take a look at what the overall objectives were and see if there are different strategies that we can employ that are meeting the, some of the points that were identified in the handout that Terry and Kat provided to us last Tuesday. I will readily admit, I got home on Thursday, I made an apple pie, and I really didn't do anything for 3 days because I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
Jill, I wasn't putting pressure on you. I was just asking if
Yeah.
if they
No,
still
no,
were still
it's all
doing it.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're not expecting that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's,
I just want to acknowledge that Terry and I had intentions, and instead we paved a road.
yeah, okay.
Didn't do anything. Next up would be, for me, for ad hocs, is, as you can see on December 6th, the ad hoc, the recruitment. So we haven't had any other activity because at this point, staff was kind of doing the coordination on that.
Right.
And so to that end, one of the other items you have on your desk is the notice for the special meeting that will be held on Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning. Please make sure you're blocking out from 10 until at least 2. And we'll be further coordinating with Christine for those interview questions.
Thank you. And just to finish out the ad hocs that I'm on, with John, that will be a closed session item. With Michelle and I think we've made inching progress on city clerk recruitment and contact of candidates. So we're, because there's been a change in staffing, how it had been done before and how we're doing it now, we're having to work on our communication on what that entails.
Yeah,
So who's on first? I don't know who's on second, but we're working through it.
yeah. Making time, what she said.
Michelle, anything?
No.
Nothing?
As far as,
Ad hoc
I-
committee report.
I'm thinking we had something for the transparency ad hoc.
I mean,
We were talking about something.
we did a quick community posting of our agenda, but kind of like dumbed it down a little bit to make it so it was more digestible, so people understood what was going to be happening instead of just like, the legalese of it, and included the original document as well.
So,
And
Where was that?
on Facebook.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
it's just this is what's going to be happening. Come on down. So, do you have any questions or have any comments on?
No.
Commission updates? Do you have any commission updates?
I don't.
Nothing? Nothing?
Just the safety commission last night. So Adeline told you about a bunch of it. They're having a discussion about speed bumps and are proposing that we have a city engineer attend a meeting next month to discuss speed bumps. And the target area is A Street, and it's intersecting streets. And that concern was brought by a community member who lives on one of those corners and has grandkids playing in the street and has noticed a number of cars running through stop signs. So that's a conversation that's going on there. They did distribute the I Street surveys, the traffic survey, and expecting those back before Christmas. And I'm sure, they had a presentation by the different neighborhood pods last night, so. And there's really only 3 pods, maybe 3.5. So there's a lot of the city that's not recognized by the pod program. But there could potentially be a means to get that expanded a bit if there's interest. And we had attendance at that meeting by Blue Lake Fire Department, Battalion Chief, I think, Talia, and also the Red Cross came to the meeting to give us an update.
I have a question, this is sort of a general question, maybe throwing it over to staff, because we don't really have, commissions don't have budgets. And I think I would expect there's some limitations on how they can begin to engage or direct staff. Requesting that the city engineer or planner, whomever, come in and be present is time that isn't necessarily budgeted for.
Right.
But rather sending a question on, our question or concern is XYZ, send that to the city manager. They might be able to find a more affordable and expeditious way of addressing that.
Right.
But I think maybe this is something that we'll have to discuss as a council and look at our policies, but for the commissions just to begin to direct staff or to request staff presence, I think we need to.
Right, and I did make mention in my liaison report to them that we were working on budget and that, it was acknowledged that there would be a cost to having that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you'll be hearing from Adeline about that request.
Okay.
And if that was approved, one meeting I went to, and the city engineer was there, but they had it at the end of the meeting. And so he sat there through the meeting.
The whole
So
time?
My suggestion would be, if that is
City-
approved.
the
or
city
something,
engineer was at
they
another
would
meeting.
look at, but it would be towards the end.
But wasn't
She
on
was
it.
saying that the city engineer sat through the whole meeting and then waited till the end to do his piece.
And which commission was this?
It was quite a while ago.
Okay.
but yeah, so
You know, I think that there has been a desire to be able to start talking about the different commissions, looking at their charges, looking at, resources that could be available to them. I think there's also some, reminders of the chair when they're building the agenda to give priority to, if you have special presentations. So, for instance, when we've had, guests either giving a presentation, to council, would put them as close to the front and then take care of, the older business towards the end. And that's really designed to, be mindful, especially around the costs that are associated with bringing in some of our hired consultants for these things. So it's, yeah. It's a good reminder.
Yeah, and it was discussed, that potentially some of the cost of speed bumps was discussed. But we didn't have any really solid numbers. So just the idea that we're bringing in, we're asking for city staff to spend time researching a project that we might not have any means to implement, and looking at maybe some other ways to
And
look
that
at the problem.
shouldn't that come to council before we
Yes.
kick it up to staff?
I mean, so first off, the first question that came was, what is the process? So that's something that I'll work with Mike on to kind of fine tune the process, recognizing, my time is dwindling. So I want to be really clear that we've got something which is clearly laid out. I think that, getting a process to your commissions so that they will understand what kind of information is needed, so that it can then go to council, so that you can say, we see that this is a high priority, or, we want to be able to do this, but we don't have the funding right now. I do think it would probably be pretty helpful to get just a general ballpark figure for something like a speed bump versus a speed hump versus a speed table, and you can see kind of what the range is, because it's not just the physical development of it, it's also some of the studies that go in, the traffic studies and some of the other pieces that may be included, that when people see the infrastructure go out, they just see the infrastructure. They don't necessarily see the back end of the work that goes into it. And there's a cost to that work, and that's part of it. We should be able to pull that together, especially with the work that was done on Greenwood and the proposed work that's being done for South Railroad and Hatchery and some of the proposed activities there. I think you've got a pretty good idea. Maybe the street's a little bit wider than in some of the other areas, which can, could reduce some of your cost theoretically, but it'll give you a ballpark figure that you can use.
Great. City manager report?
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing I need to share with you guys is that last week I was able to run a count for my hours, and at that time I was about 214 hours, 12 of which were immediately spent the next day because of the workday and council meeting. My time is dwindling and dwindling quickly. So I am going to reduce my hours to 20 hours a week. You still need to go through the process to recruit, select, do a background check, along with an offer. And then if, you've got a candidate that you want to move forward with, they may need to give notice to some degree. And so we need to be able to buy time. It's not as simple as we found somebody, let's move forward immediately. There's still going to be that transition kind of period. So recognizing that, there's a lot of work that we still need to get done for that December 23rd meeting. So I do know that I can write a lot better at home. It's more efficient. We've got a number of reports that are due. We've got some CalRecycle reports that are required, and so we're getting that. I'm bringing Emily into the fold, so she'll be able to have some continuity moving forward for next year. SB 1383 is the Organics Diversion Act. Some of you may recall, one of the components is not just the diversion, it's also the food recovery program. So if you have schools or you have other restaurants, Tomaso's might be a good example here, where they have excess of product rather than disposing of it, getting that recaptured and folded into like food bank programs and things like this. So part of that requirement is that every year you conduct an audit and a report to make sure that that volume of material is getting diverted in for reuse. We've also got SB1, which is your road rehab repair funds that you've received from the state, some funding. The deadline is today, and we are still trying to pull the information. So I've got an extension to the 15th. We are also pulling together information for the TDA audit. And so we're hoping to have that information collected by this Friday, and we'll have that done for March. That is not your regular financial audit. The regular financial audit information is also being assembled. So we got a lot of plates spinning, and we're doing our best to keep them from crashing to the ground.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if there's any of the things that you are trying to do that might be done by a consultant, if there was somebody, again, to stretch your hours out, keep you here a little longer. I know you've talked about quite a number of projects, and you've identified, and I know you've identified some of those as, being on the docket of the next city manager. But I wonder if some of the other things you're trying hard to finish might also be offloaded.
I don't honestly know that I'm going to be able to get things finished. There's a number of things that, I've got a list of things that need to be done, and honestly, you're going to need to hire a consultant to do them anyways. So, having a consultant come in and take a look at, let's say, your personnel regulations, right? You could either have, Ryan, working on that, which, he should be reviewing them anyways, but you could have a consultant prepare a review. There are some firms that could do it. I would say you just need to get a request for proposal and be really clear about, are you wanting to have a consultant come in order to prepare an update of your financial plans or your financial policies, I should say. So there's a whole host of things. Right now, I'm just making
lists.
I've got a big whiteboard in my office. It's got all sorts of things. And as I'm able to get things completed, I move them over to another whiteboard. And eventually I will get done. I will take a photograph so I can then transcribe everything that has been done, as well as the recommendations for moving forward.
So everything you're doing couldn't be offloaded is what
Not
I'm-
at this
I'm-
time. Not with the short. I would end up spending more time trying to explain it to somebody.
Yeah. I get that.
I can see that.
All right. Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Quick question. Are you able to work with staff on this reduction to 20 hours and how they'll be able to?
No, I let them know about it today. We're going to do our best.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep. I mean, they've been nothing but supportive, and I think, honestly, having the number of special meetings that we've had and the work that goes into preparing all of that, and then attendance, that's where I'm just watching a really big drain. But it's necessary. These are things that have kind of had you all mired in the mud for a while, just like trying to get traction. So with the actions of the last couple of meetings, now we're getting some clarity and direction, able to start moving forward. This is going to be able to break that log jam, if you will. Thank you.
Any further questions?
I was just thinking it's been,
Great.
we're a week away from it being 1 year since anyway.
We've got nothing done.
Yeah, thank you for your help.
You're welcome. You have
What is-
Julie Christie. Christie is
Is there comment on this?
It's up to you.
No.
It's up to you, not usually.
Julie, are you commenting on closed session or on this item?
On this would be on our reports. I'll go quick. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the reports. Jill, when you said that we had a written correspondence from Kent, I know Kent, he's very usually good about getting it in time so that it's actually in the packet. Because I know he's down in Mexico right now. I can't be online to like give his comments. So anyways, the next item would be going back to the safety meeting. Great presentation again. I think, like Elise mentioned, they don't have many pods. My block's actually one of the few that does. And I would really love to like invite Lynn Glenn and like my neighbor Laura Chapman or Doc Campbell, like into a council meeting. I think that'd be great to like keep promoting that. Then going back down the chain to you again, Jill, to give you a kiss on the cheek, sister. You've been a rock star. Please someday just stop by the farm. I'd love to give you something to put in the crock pot for an easy dinner. And I really appreciate your time. And just want to give you a big thank you. Okay, on to the next one.
I do want to note that the email that we received from Kent was actually originally sent to Ryan, and Kent requested, it came in after the Thanksgiving holiday, and you already had your packet. This letter is available online as a supplemental item that was put onto the website earlier. I actually can't remember if it was today or yesterday. Okay, today. Okay,
Great.
thank you for that.
Moving on to closed session. Public comment on closed session. Agenda items. Just like to talk? No? Any comments? Julie, Christie? Go ahead.
Oh gosh, you guys. Yeah, so I'll dive into this one. My main concerns for two of the items that are on tonight, just getting public records requests on those items that are actually appropriate for that request. Really, I've through the grapevine, they're not being, and not just now, but much prior to this process. And then a little bit now, some public records requests that should be appropriate and should be available. I know staff time's limited, and I gave a lot of comments earlier kind of on everything that's going on with development down and potential development down in the industrial complex in our industrial area. I do believe like Danco we had negotiations going on with them, but we had a December kind of like deadline last December that I thought we were supposed to like decide at that point if we're going to continue negotiations. And I thought that time had actually expired. And honestly, I ate dinner at my niece's apartments for Thanksgiving for the third year in a row. And you guys, it's heartbreaking to hear what these tenants have to go through. And they don't even want to speak up. They are that afraid of a roof over their head and just live in the conditions they live in. Everyone that's been put on the outskirts has been it's horrid. So I really want to give housing to our people. Like I said before, we need to start talking to private property owners. They've been neglected. We've got to use our public lands or our city properties, because otherwise surplus or infill is just going to slap us in the face anyways. You don't use it, you lose it. But we've got to put these housings in appropriate areas. And now we've got the bike park and the creek encroachment, like that's all changing the footprint that was down there. I just feel like if there is any discussion on this platform right now, definitely we can't do the dollar lease agreement. They're going to be there 57 years, the contract says, 57 years. And are they going to uphold everything they said in that contract as managers? They can't even do it at their other places. I just can't do it. I can't bend a knee to this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Last call for public comment. All right, we'll go ahead and motion to move into closed session.
So moved.
Motion by Stefani. Seconded by Bayless. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none.